This is the Mother's Day haircut, dude.
Dude,
The
yeah.
last, I guess.
What's going on, good people, man? A lot of y'all, may have been wholesaling in past years, maybe thinking about trying to get started in real estate this year. Like, this is your year. But today we're going to be talking about how to wholesale in 2024. Man, it's a lot different than maybe what you probably you've heard of some stuff about real estate in the past. It's a little different now. The market has changed, stuff is changing. Some things are the same, some things changing, and we're going to talk about that today and give you some ways you can get going in 2024 and answer your questions, man. Cordero is back. Cordero's back, man. He's a
Yeah.
busy guy, so you got to work around his schedule. You got all kind of stuff going on, man. I think he was getting that haircut last time we were trying to go live. You know what I'm saying? They got the tip fade. He got the freshie up in as well.
Nah. Like I was telling Byron, this ain't fresh out the box. Couple days waiting.
So this ain't need the full effect right here.
For sure not.
It's a couple of days old.
Yeah, really.
Mel Dre, what's going on? Tap it in on IG.
Are we on IG with it too?
But yeah, man. What's been going on, man? Cordero back in the place to be. I talked about the other day what I had, what was going on with me and what I've been doing, this, that, and the third. But what's been going on with you, man? Tell the people, what Cordero the cleaner been doing, man.
Man. Sure, I mean, trying to get like Byron, trying to get like Byron, man. Ain't nothing changed in that regards. Trying to get it crunk up. But yeah, man. I mean, like you said, really it's a different market. It is a different market, meaning you can't go back 2 years ago and watch some of them videos or get some advice, or even just let's take the YouTube aspect out of it, just like using the same strategies from 2 years ago. You can't do that. So we've shifted. But I say all that to say, in this current market, there is a lot of opportunity. There's a lot of opportunity. There's so much opportunity in this current market, man, because a lot of people have, I don't know, they done went they separate ways, they done parted ways with it, or whatever it is. There's so much opportunity, and you just got to be able to find it. So me and my team, we've been, obviously I work real close with Byron, on the acquisition front. But me and my team, like, we've been really just trying to get deeper into generating leads and get deep off into what is going to be our thing. So I've been working on that a lot. We've been doing our thing, just hitting these phones. And I think that's going to be my thing, honestly, man. I like hitting these phones more than I'm doing online leads. I'm doing PPL and stuff like that, but I like hitting the phones. And when I look back and see what I've done, it's come from the phones. I start reaching out to people, prospecting. And it's just about how to get to that. And also, well, I'll save it, but I'll save that news for later. I still got to take that final test or whatever, but I'll save that news for later. But yeah, man, as far as the wholesaling front goes, man, just been making sure we stay consistent, finding our thing. Marketing is marketing. The basic principles are still there, y'all. It's the contacts equal contracts in this market, just like it did in the last market. Simple as that. But you got to figure out how to make the contacts real well.
Yeah, you gotta be smarter about your contacts. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You gotta be smarter about your contacts. That's what I would say. But so Jason said I started having to adapt and learn different acquisition strategies to add to my tool belt. Hey, man, you better get with Cordero, man. His acquisition tool belt filled up with strategies out there.
Man, like I said, a lot of things have changed.
So heavy.
I'm gonna keep it real. There's some things that I've been slacking on because I'm trying to like work on the overall, like, just just the overall direction to make sure I'm staying down. But one thing I realized on the acquisition front, things change even back when the market was like 20. We can keep talking about the glory days, whatever, it doesn't matter. But I'm just using that for perspective. Even back then, things was changing. Your acquisitions tools were changing on like every quarterly, every 3 months or every 6 months. The stuff that you could say to a seller, be like, oh, we could offer this. That'd be hot now, but 6 months from now, everybody who's on the phones is saying the same things, or everybody who's talking to the sellers is offering them the same things. So you ever get to it talking to a seller and you're like, oh, I'm gonna offer them Novation. And they're like, yeah, another company just offered me that. And you're like, dang, I thought I was gonna be the only one. Or whatever, you know what I mean? Whatever it is.
So,
And so one thing I realized where I'm at right now when it comes to being on these phones, we're talking to people, is I follow my instincts a lot. And because I got the experience, I'm not just saying just if you brand new, don't get out there and wing it. But because I got the experience, I'm following my instincts and I'm asking those like deep questions with the sellers and I'm getting in deep. So I mean, do you really think you want to sell this right now? Do you really think this is something you want to do? And I'm trying to disqualify them so they can say, oh, I really want to go. But when we talk acquisition, I'm talking about actually the conversation. Once you got them there, what are you saying to close that deal? So I'll say that to say, as far as tool belt, two things in your tool belt and getting people under contract, it's like, what do you say? How are you conducting yourself in that conversation? And then as far as like dispositions and exit strategies, because I think that's what you're talking about here when you come to creative financing, novations, and stuff like that. Again, man, I think that's definitely cool and that's going to help. However, speaking of, we got ourselves a heavy hitter in the building. And I learned this from listening to Caretha, the Caretha.
oh man, I clicked on the street. Caretha in the building, man. Heavy hit.
I'm telling you, listen, and I've seen a lot of people. This is what I mean when I say there's opportunity. I'm seeing a lot of people introduce creative financing and innovation, and they go in that route all together. Even people like who was wholesaling and now they flipping more, a lot more like Byron's flipping a lot more. But there is still a lot of room for wholesaling. People are acting like, especially if you watch like YouTube, there's still a lot of room for wholesaling deals. But you got to go about it the right way. And Caretha talks a lot. You know, she's very knowledgeable, and it's just about you got to find the right motivated seller still. You can still get a good deal, but you got to switch up your strategy. That's where it's getting deeper and getting more personable with people. Not even just conversation wise, but actually how you're finding your leads, you driving for dollars, pulling targeted, narrowly targeted lists. It ain't just pulling no general. Oh, I just want to pull Atlanta. Let's see how that goes. I'm just gonna pull a broad list in Atlanta. No, dude. You know what I'm saying? And even going as far as you going to areas where you have an unfair advantage, like a little small town where you know the majority of people there, but you know, Jerry Norton ain't gonna know nothing about that small town. You know what I mean? He don't know. He know Atlanta. He don't know nothing about Shelbyville, Tennessee. He don't know nothing about.
He don't know nothing
about Ben Hill.
So, he don't know nothing about it, man. Like, dude, I was saying that same thing. It's like, man, you got to go the places that you know the best.
Yeah,
you get that's probably where your advantages are. The places that you know the best, and you have the most contacts. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, contacts equals contracts. You know, so it's like when you in a place that you know a lot of people, it's like that's an advantage. You at least gotta, you got to be trying in those places, just because like I said, contacts is contracts, man. You already got some contacts, that's gonna be able to help you get some deals done. So
1,000%, man, 1,000%. Again, what I'm saying, it is getting back to just a more natural way. Like if you had a lemonade stand and you wanted more people to find out about your lemonade stand, how would you go about that? Like how would you go about meeting people who might be interested in what you got? And so, like before, man, I'll be honest, I would just do cold calling and to a broad list, and I'd be like, man, I ain't gonna tell my mama I don't know. I ain't gonna tell my mom. I ain't gonna go back to Chevyville, tell everybody about what I do and have them maybe put my name out there and all of that. It's like, dude, you got to get yourself out there in a real. I ain't gonna I ain't gonna pull a tax list or a foreclosure list and go drive to the properties and go knock on the door and talk to them. I wouldn't do nothing like that.
Yeah.
You need to do.
You gotta get out there, dude. You gotta be willing to talk to some people. I'm like, dude, you gotta be willing to talk to some people,
Yeah.
reach out to some people, call numbers, dig deeper, call the wife, call the sister, call the brother. I'm looking up a property owner, but it's like I can't get a hold of him. I'm looking up his wife. I'm looking up his kids. I'm looking up his cousins. I'm looking up his friends. It's like, dude, you got to be willing to dig deeper. Caretha was telling us about. Hope she don't mind me sharing this. Some of her secrets. But Caretha was telling us about, like, when she was reaching out to some of those pre-foreclosures. She was talking about how she was sending a video message. Like,
oh, that was crazy.
Whoa!
That's a crazy message.
God, dog, man.
That's a crazy message, man. And again, I just want to point out that was a very, very sound thing. But Caretha did that. It was an instinctual thing. When we reach out to people, they're like, I don't know if you're real or not, such and such and such. What if I show you? Well, how can I set myself apart? How can I show them to be real? And so she just said, let me record myself and send it directly to them. And that was something she was doing. So Jay, if you see his next message, it say, now this market, I feel like you got to be way more educated. Yeah, but really you got to be way more hungry.
Yeah, like I said, you got to be willing to go that extra. You got to be willing to go that extra. Like
It's
you
hungry,
said,
right?
how many people are thinking about making a video and sending it out? Not many people.
Prove that you're real, not even to get your foot in the door.
Yes, when you go that extra, you get that foot in that door, and that's all you really need, man. You know what I'm saying?
It's right now, Jay. It's about hunger. It's about the guy who says, "Well, listen, I ain't sitting around and setting up."
Yeah.
Yo, Ali, what's good, dude?
Ali in the building.
I ain't sitting around waiting on nothing to come to me or nothing like that. It's about just going to get it. And honestly, for me, and it's probably for more some of the newer people, it's like it's got to be about, you got to get rid of doubt. You got to eliminate all doubt that, oh man, probably deals ain't happening in this market. Because the guys like Byron won't tell you this, but Byron is running the game right now. Byron is going stupid right now for people to be like, man, this market and this what's going on and blah 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 blah, and it's not the same as it was. It's like, because it's the hunger. It's not sitting around. It's like, how do I get the motions to start flowing to me, and then figure out a way to what would you call them? I want to say capitalize on it, but how do you get leads to turn into deals?
Convert
them. How you
convert, baby?
Get the motion to flow to you, and then all of that motion, how do you convert it? That's the whole thing. But it's hunger, and you got to start thinking instinctually. Like if you got, like Jade, if you got 5 leads, if you got 5 opportunities this week, and 3 of them said, "Oh yeah, I would sell." One of them said, "I want to sell in the next 60 days," and the other one said, "I got to sell tomorrow." It's like, how do you, looking back on that, how you gonna spend your time going into next week or this weekend? He got to sell tomorrow. You gonna wait till Monday? Your instinct should tell you, I need to be talking to him now. I don't have time to talk to nobody. He said he got to sell tomorrow. We might not be able to close by tomorrow, but I need to be talking to him now. That's think instinctually.
Yeah, you got to dig deeper, man. You got to dig deeper. You got to dig deeper, and because you're dealing with more people who is basically need to sell.
Yeah,
because if somebody's selling, it's like they, like Cordero, like they ain't just selling just because these days. You know what I'm saying? They ain't just up and selling. Like it got to be something going on. So you know when people say, I want 400,000 for my house. Okay, let's keep talking to you. You know what I'm saying? When you want to close, you know what I'm saying? You got to be willing to dig deeper. Like some people are running into deals, but people telling you what they want, and you just like, well, don't need to talk to them no more. But in reality, it's like dig a little deeper, dig a little deeper, dig a little deeper, and see what happens. See what happens. See what happens. You know what I'm saying? So It's like, shoot, what's man? We had a guy wanted to sell his house for what he wanted 150 at the beginning.
Who
Yo boy.
in
Yeah, man. What he
what?
wanted 150? Did he want 150?
Nah, I think he
What he
wanted
want?
like 120 or something like
Yeah, maybe something like
that.
that. But I'm just saying, it's like when somebody need to sell,
Yeah.
they gonna come on up off that. We had somebody else who wanted 75.
Yeah.
It is like when they need to sell, they will come up off that. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you really gotta gauge. It's different these days because I remember back in the day, it was like you get their number, whatever they want to sell for. It's like, man, oh yeah, this is like it's a deal. It's like, but these days it's almost strictly like, do you really need to sell? You know what I'm saying? It's like, some people they ain't talking about nothing they don't need to sell. Some people actually really need to sell, and you just need to figure out, okay, what's the best? Can I put you in a situation where you would sell this thing for cash? And they will sell it at a number that works. They will sell at a number that will work. They will.
100%.
Otherwise, they don't need to sell. Otherwise, you need to kick them to the back of your line.
Yeah, I mean, and that's a good point because there's some things about business that haven't changed. There's some things that were always the same in a great market, in a bad market, in now's market or recover. I don't know what it is, but it's like the structure is you need to have some sort of lead generation. Get your leads coming in. Like, how are you getting leads in? Whether that's prospecting, marketing, word of mouth, which they call NPS, whatever it is, get your leads and then converting them and closing them. But it's like what Byron is talking about is about, I want to say it's been about 6 months, maybe even about a year at this point, where we decided that we got to target only motivated people now.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, there was a point where there was a transition where we were just like, man, we just got to do more. We just got to target. No, you got to now when it gets back to business, when the economy changes, when the market changes, the only people who are selling are people who need to.
Yeah.
And we're in a particular market where people, if the interest rates are high and I just got a 2% interest rates, I'm not going to sell just because I just want a purple house instead of a blue house.
Well, they can't really, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, I'm not going to trade 2% for 8% just because I like the color. That don't make sense logically. So when you're talking to these sellers, it's like, no, it's got to be somebody who hair, like Byron say, they hair on fire.
Hair is on fire. It's like,
That
dude, put it out.
I mean, just think basic principle. In a decent market, people are spending money all the time. But I'm not going to buy an extra car in a rough market unless I need a second. I'm not going to buy a vehicle unless I need it. I'm not going to make no unnecessary splurges. I mean, people spending, but for the most part, people is not doing more than what they need, especially not a major decision like they living situation.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
We have to find people, but I say that to say now we're targeting those people. And Byron brought up a good point. Now on the conversion side of it, when you get X amount of leads flowing in, you got to figure that part out first. How do I crank my lead flow up?
Yeah, I think that was one thing that we kind of looked at, and you kind of said it. I think it was Grant Cardone who said it in a book.
Yeah,
it's like your job as a business owner is to bring in
leads
more easily convertible leads.
Yeah,
like you need to bring in stuff that's easy to convert. All right, so what is easy leads to convert? People who have a real reason to sell. When you got a real reason to sell, it's easier to convert that lead. You know what I'm saying? When you got to say and go through a ton of people that has no, ain't nothing telling you that these people got a reason to sell. It's like, that's what's messing you up. You need to get to the people who need to sell.
1000%. Like, for example, talking to a lead earlier today, Joni brought me a lead today from this guy who has some duplexes he want to sell. I jumped on the phone And the first call I have is like a discovery. I'm trying to determine, is this person really serious or not? I'm looking for key
Yeah.
terms. I always say this, just like I heard this from Maya Angelou. I'm sure a lot of you heard this saying. She said, when a person tells you who they are, believe them.
Either.
Believe them 100%. And these sellers are very similar. That's one of my favorite sayings in life, but you see how well it transfers over to the business. Because when a buyer tell you who they are, like a lot of times it's like we was dealing with a buyer on that one deal that just kept disrespecting us, just continuously disrespecting us. It's like when a person just shows you, they say it verbally or their actions show you who they are and what they think of you, believe it. Don't, you know what I'm saying? And conduct yourself accordingly.
Yeah.
But I was talking to this. I was like, "Hey, man, what are you trying?" Well, he told me right off the rip, "Hey, I have a property manager who's been managing it, and I feel like it's only right that I sell it through them. So I want to sell it through them. And I had another property that I sold with them not too long ago, so I'm going to sell these to them." Okay, I continued on with the conversation to explore more, but he's going to sell it, and he wants market value to sell it through the property management company. And the property management company is going to want him to sell it for as much money as he can because they get more money the more money he sells it for, right?
Yeah.
But so but he is an older gentleman who was in the hospital for some reason. So I don't know, that might mean something. He's worth me following back up with just to see. He said when
Yeah.
he got to the hospital, he's worth me following up for that reason. But if he didn't have any real motivation, if he was a younger dude talking about the property management company, I gotta keep it moving. We got
Yeah.
a lot of lead, like we got the lead flow thing kind of down at this point. I mean, we got a lot of people to be talking to. There's a lot of
Yeah.
people to be talking to. So it's just like I'll come back to you later, or one of the lead managers can follow up with you. But I can tell he not talking about nothing. So I'm saying,
Yeah.
that's just an example of who talking about something and who not talking about something. Really.
Yeah, for sure, man. It's like you really got to be able to identify that, and then it's like you got to find a way to generate more leads,
Yeah.
more people who talking about something. You know what I'm saying? You
Yeah.
got when you see that you ain't running into enough people who talking about something, you got to figure out, okay, how do I run into more people who talking about something? What I'm doing ain't running me into enough people who talking about something.
Yeah.
How do I run into more people who talking about something? You know what I'm saying? And if you look and say, man, I'm over here, and I'm getting a few leads that's talking about something, double down on it. You know what I'm saying? If
Yeah.
if this is producing the fruit that you're looking for, double down, do more of it. Whatever it is bringing you. You're like, oh, what did I get my best leads from? Oh, these people actually were looking to sell, but I just didn't convert. These people were looking to sell, but I just wasn't the one that got it done. These people were looking to sell because they went and they ended up selling. You know what I'm saying? You see that
Exactly.
they ended up selling. You know what I'm saying? It's like, well, double down on that and actually work on converting those leads. You know what I'm saying?
100%. 100%. And again, that's more thinking what I mean instinctually, whereas before I felt like it would just I felt like it was just like hey man, talking about something for sure. For sure. They got to be talking about something, boy. They
Talk
got
about
to be talking
something.
about something.
Talk
Because
about something.
as before, like as far as like things shifted or how I even thought about it before, I was just like, man, let me just do this. And this business is such a grind. You could easily turn into, well, let me just go through the motions. Well, dog, if it's not working, if swinging the bat in this way ain't working, you need to change something up.
Yeah.
Like it don't matter. Like you can't be like, man, I was in the dollar for 4 hours today, and I spent 4 hours in the dollar every day this week. Well, it's just like, well, dog, there's a point where you going hard, and there's a point where you, as the CEO of the business, where you're wearing a different hat, got to switch it up sometimes. So it's just like go where they talking about something. You looking for people who talk about leads who are actually going to sell. And think about it. It needs to be easy. They need to be easy. I'm not saying like your acquisition skills don't come into play because they do. You got to know what you're doing. You got to be diplomatic. You got to make that person feel at ease. Make them feel like you can solve their problem. Unless it's like actually like low hanging fruit. Because low
Yeah.
hanging fruit, most wholesalers, when you get your first deal, dog, it's gonna be some low hanging fruit. Really, it's low hanging fruit for me.
Most of the times, yeah. But it's the difference between like an easy seller and an easy to get it to the closing table. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like an easy seller is like you ain't pulling teeth to get this person to sell like that. That's not what you're trying to do.
yeah,
It's
for
like,
sure.
dude, you're not pulling teeth to try to convince them that, hey, you need to sell your property. You need to sell it to me. That you don't need to do that. But like to get it to the closing table, you will have to be able to solve people problems. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Which that part is not just gonna be a piece of cake all the time, especially in these markets because you're gonna be dealing with people with real problems. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna be dealing with people who got real situations, and you got to be willing to, make adjustments. You got to be willing to make adjustments, do some things, be flexible to get it to the closing table. But that sell, like I got sellers who I'm having to do a lot of different stuff to get them to the closing table, but they are easy sellers. I asked them to do something, done. I asked them to do this, done. You know what I'm saying? It's like I don't have to talk them into selling. I don't have to talk them into this.
yeah.
It's just the process to get them there is stuff you got. You're gonna have to, get them there. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
that's where the work comes into play because that's where you are solving their problem.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like
So
if my car break down, the mechanic don't gotta coax me or convince me or beg me or fight with me or argue with me to get in there. But when I get my car in there, he got to do some work to get my car fixed. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
You
So
don't gotta
I just wanted to make sure like it's two different
1,000.
things working here. You know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah,
like the seller should be easy.
yeah,
The situation always ain't gonna be easy. Especially in this market. Like back in the day, like you said, the glory days, shoot, both of them usually easy. S- Situation easy, seller easy, because the seller getting a price that they want, or probably, whatever above the price that they want.
yeah.
And they really ain't got nothing going on. They just want the money. You know what I'm saying?
The whole market running. The title companies is
It's
like
like,
used to this. Everything is just flowing because it's flowing.
it's like,
Everything working in the direction you trying to go in already.
yeah, for sure. But
Now
then, yeah, now,
they come, but that's the point. You put yourself in a position to find people with problems just so you can then get them under contract in order to solve their problem.
yeah, for sure. Whew. So I do use transaction coordinator still, unless I'm flipping a property, which I've been doing a whole lot more flips than wholesale. So when I flip a property, I don't use it as much because it's like I'm just buying this property cash. When I
Yeah.
wholesale, I will use transaction coordinator.
But
Um,
how deep does the transact like when it comes to dealing with those problems, the transactional coordinator doesn't actually solve all those problems.
well, they handle stuff when it comes to dealing with the attorney. You know what I'm saying? When you're talking about dealing with the attorney and something that the seller might have going on, and just helping being able to solve those problems is a big thing. And it helps to have somebody who's actually knowledgeable about the situations. And they, when they bring the problem to you, like when my transaction coordinator bring a problem to me, she usually got some type of suggestion on the solution to this. You know what I'm saying? It's like, hey,
Yeah.
you probably just need to do dot 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 dot. And then I just go do what she said. And then, you know what I'm saying? And then we usually move on. She was like, I don't know what you want to do. This is gonna be based on what you like to do, but this. She usually be able to be on point. I'm able to go to her for advice on different stuff. And one big thing was like she told me how to start closing when I ain't got to show up. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, dude, I ain't showing up to no closings no more. I'll get people unless it's right around the corner. I ain't showing up to no closings, man. I get somebody else to sign them papers or do whatever. So, but yeah, man. I think that was a big thing. But yeah, so I do still use mine, but I don't use it as much because I'm doing a lot more flipping and wholesaling. So Jason said I'm about to be out of here soon. Great to see you. Me going to work, man, at like 2 a.m., man. So That'd be crazy. I know he was
Shout
telling
out
me.
to Jaden, man. I'm glad to be back, but I'm glad to see you still rocking, Jade. So, man, I'm telling you, Jade, do your
Man,
thing,
what's
bro.
my guys? Yeah, no doubt. My guys on IG, we got Toya on IG tapping in. We got B Ballard, man. B Ballard is, I say, kid, man. Well, he used to go to my school, kid that I taught and coached back when I was a teacher. Now he wholesale real estate, flip real estate. This dude going bananas right now, man. So REI Cal, yo, what's going on? Every deal has problems almost. Yeah, pretty much. Yep, that's the avatar. Yeah, man. Most deals got some type of problems. I would say that most deals, you're gonna run into one every now and then. I was telling Cordero, I think I just ran into one that was just like, dude, it's a straight layup, dude. I mean, you in the wide open, they didn't pass you the ball, everybody else on the other side of the court. And all you got to do is just lay that bug. I mean, I'm on a breakaway right now, man. This thing is a layup. I didn't even reach out to the seller. Seller reached out to me. Hey, I want to sell.
Yeah.
I said, okay, when can we come look at it? Send the people to go look at it. They came back with their offer. I told her another price, talked her down. She no arguments at all, took it. I talked
Not a word. Not a
to
word.
talked the buyer up. Boom, sign, goes to the closing table. No situation, just signed the papers, moved on. This is what I do.
Hey, that's called momentum. That's when
I
you
like,
get him out there. I bet that's how, I mean,
dude, I started thinking like this. That took me back to when I first started getting into real estate. Like, dude, is this real? It's like how somebody. It's kind of like in football when you rushing the quarterback. They let you in there. You like, this is a screenplay.
hey, that happened to me one time, dude. Dude, dude, that happened to me one time. Middle school football, dude. We was playing this team, and this quarterback, he kept, and this was my team was trash, and this team was very good. This team was very good, but the quarterback, every time he snapped it, he rolled out to his right. He rolled out to his right and then throw it. I said, man, I'm just gonna go right this time. I'm just gonna when the ball snap, I'm not gonna think, I'm not gonna talk. I'm just gonna start heading right. And I start heading right, and I'm like, dang, wait, I'm out. Nobody's touching me. Nobody. He rolling out, and I'm like, hold on, is he gonna get out the way? Did he got something? He got something for me? I'm not kidding, bro. I'm getting closer and closer. This man, I close my eyes. Boom! I cracked, dude. I cracked him. Like I really rocked, dude.
Oh man!
Nobody's around. Nobody's here. It's just me and him. Cracked him. I'm like, why did you do that?
Hey, I'm looking around. I'm still wondering right now. We supposed to close next Friday, and I'm like, man, is this real? Like, dude, is this a prank?
Like, nah, I don't like that. I don't like that stuff. I don't like that stuff. I'm gonna have to call up to the title company. Hey, I'm gonna have to call up. Hey, I'm an ex-husband. Actually, my name is on.
Cause, dude, seriously though, man, I don't know about you, but I ain't had like a layup breakaway wholesale deal in a little minute. Like, dude.
I mean, you talking about as far as like transactional coordination?
No, I'm just talking about like,
yeah.
Seller reached out to me. I didn't have to talk to them about this, that, and the third. Hey, I'm interested in selling my property. Okay, when can we come look at? Simple as this. Simple.
Nah.
Ain't no debating about price. Ain't no, Ain't no, I'm waiting to see when you gonna sign. I send it to them. Boom, sign that mug. Ain't no none of this waiting around. Ooh, none of that stuff, man. It's just like I went to, hey, when can we get somebody to go see it? Hey, you can get somebody to go out here and see it, And it was like 2 days after she told us, like, next 2 days you can get somebody to go out. It's a lockbox on it. Send somebody to see it. Lockbox got in there. They did their thing. No words from the buyer at all. Buyer came back way above what they was asking. Talked the buyer up even further. Talked her down. I just said, hey, look, we're going to need that 171. And she's like, Okay, we'll go ahead and move forward with that. It's like, okay.
Hey man,
I'm like,
sometimes the sun just shines.
man, what'd you say? Sometimes the sun just shine out on you.
Sometimes the sun just shine on you, man.
It's
I'm
like,
telling you now.
I'm like, man, this is a layup. But then I'm looking around like, dude, man, did somebody finna trip? Somebody finna trip, man. Like, dude,
Dude, I think you done put a lot of work in because I done been places like I done been there where it's just like you putting so much work in, stuff just start to come to you. Like you got so much momentum. You
yeah,
like, oh dang, that's just there. I'm already because honestly, think about it like this: somebody else, if that deal would have came to them, they wouldn't have been prepared for it. It's
yeah,
just like it's like, dang, I can't believe that ball was coming my way, but you prepared, you in the moment. So if it feel like that, a lot of stuff can feel like, man, I can't believe, but nah, I believe that you've been putting in work. And I just say that not to negate it because it sound like just a plain old stunt at this point. Like you just stunting, like, "Hey, look what I just did," but it's just like been putting in
nah.
a lot of work.
It's
Put
like, dude,
get
hey,
you
people be thinking like, oh, whatever, but they do. I'm surprised too. Like,
real
I,
talk.
I'm still like I said, it take me back to my first deal. Like, dude, is it real? It's like,
Tell you.
dude, people think that I'm just, dude, I still be like, man, is it real? Like, you know what I'm saying? But Kyle on IG said, like, if you close the 58K innovation today, God almighty, first of the year, but another 19K next week, and another one listed now should be 40K. Woo, woo, man, goodness
Good
gracious.
night, boy.
He said,
Oh,
I need to learn the flip game. I guess you doing an innovation game. Keep playing your game, man.
hey, stay in your lane. Ain't no traffic in your lane.
Exactly.
Do your thing, bro.
Dude, ain't no traffic in your lane, my guy.
You ever heard somebody say, "Hey, I'm making 100,000 over here. I need to do what you doing." No, I'm
Hey,
making 100,000 this month. I
yeah,
mean,
man.
maybe.
You need to stay in your lane, dude. Tell her you mess around, try to switch. You might mess around, try to get out of your lane, and mess around. You been ran into traffic, man. You still backed up. You sitting in a standstill out there, bug.
I'm telling you now. I'm telling
Well,
you now.
Kyle says, thanks, AD. Me and the wife just doing it on the side after the W2. That W2 job, you keep doing it right here. I don't know how much you make at a W2, but man, you gotta have a stupid W2 to be making over 100,000 a month out this month. So AD the investor says at Cal, maybe we could connect, add value. I bet you would want to connect with Joker making $100,000. Shoot, yeah. Hey, you gotta connect with people who doing crazy stuff like that, man. God almighty. But
Hold on,
shoot, man, you doing some you novating on the side. It's
they making
crazy, man.
connections in the comment section.
Yeah, for sure, for
Hold on,
sure.
they getting money in the comment section. I don't like
Oh
that.
yeah, you
They
should,
get
Jay.
money in the comment section.
You get money in the comment section.
Dude, please, contacts equal contracts, and it's not just from sellers. It's
No,
not just from finding more leads to convert, more buyers, more people to connect with, people who can help you. You connect with the right person, they can give you the right idea, and that's more contracts for you. That's more doors open. It could be like
yeah,
somebody like Byron, and like you connecting with Byron, like, hey Byron, I got this one deal. I don't know how to call. And Byron, like, oh, go here, do this, that, right there. Whereas before, if you didn't have Byron as a contact, that whole deal you would have to just throw it away because you didn't even know what to do on it. So contacts equal
yeah,
contracts in a million ways,
yeah,
man.
for sure. Because my first deal, like, it was just sitting up in my it was just sitting up in my thing that I was trying to text people. It was just sitting up in there. That was my first deal. It was just sitting there, and nothing happened until I went out and the guy was cutting grass, and he was like, "Yeah, I know a dude buy a lot of properties. He's on Facebook. Reach out to him. Reach out to the dude on Facebook. He talking to me like, hey, you got something?" And I, you knew that you ain't really got that. you start looking back like, hey man, I got everybody here that said they interested. You know what I'm saying? You don't even know
Right.
if it's a deal. But I was like, this ain't the, I didn't even think it was a deal. But I was like, I got this property. The person said they interested,
I
and I
feel you.
ain't think he was gonna think it was a deal. And because I was like, dude, nah, you can't buy it at 60. I was like, gotta be lower than that. But I was sending it to him. He was like, when can we go see it? And I was like, oh shoot. So yeah, man, it's like sometimes you just be sitting on stuff that you don't think is a deal, but it might be a deal. You just gotta get connected to the right people, man. You just don't know. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? You just don't know, man. And when you get connected to the right people, they're able to guide you, and like you said, you're able to take their knowledge and skip the line. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Because like you're able to take their knowledge and just skip the line, man. That's kind of how it worked, man. That's all I've been doing is stealing people knowledge out of this mug.
That's all I do, man. Stealing Byron's knowledge, man. And so I mean, like Jay said, you got to be educated in general. So to his point, it's just like you got to know more. Byron was telling me just kind of how this is a gym. I don't know if he's mentioned it on the live before. So it's like how you interact with people, just provide value, like with your buyers, with your title companies, with whoever the attorneys you work with. Just try to provide value, and it's not all about getting. Don't make it transactional. It's not always about getting something out of it right away. So there was this one deal that I had been this is a seller I've been following up on, and it was taking him some time. He was slowly coming down, but actually what happened, he ran into one of them trash real estate agents who told him the sun and the moon. So they kind of get their mind hooked on that. And luckily, he didn't end up listing with the real estate agent, because the real estate agent would end up listing it, and then they get the Mike Tyson treatment. But that's neither here nor there. But it
Yeah.
did get his mind hooked, so it took him a while to come down to a real price. But I found this buyer who gave probably the best price that we could have done. And so I was just like, man, going back and forth, what's the best we can do, trying to get something out of there. But Byron was telling me something. Man, I forgot what you said that really inspired me to go ahead and just say, I forgot what you was telling me, but I was just like, man, forget it. So I called the buyer, and I was just like, you know what, he could be a good asset going forward. So I
Yeah.
called him, and I was just like, hey man, I don't see where the deal is at, where the seller is at, because the seller was telling me he need X amount for a real particular reason. He needed this. And then the buyer was like, man, let's do the numbers. We walked through the numbers together, and he needed at that price for it to make sense. It has to make sense right here. So basically, there was no margin for me in the deal. So I could have just been like, dang, I got to check it. I called the buyer. I was like, hey man, it looked like really ain't much margin for me, but because I know you doing deals and I've been working with this seller, I want to really help him out. How about I said I'll just pass you this one along, and so that way, because he's at this number, this is the number you needed. There really ain't no room. I just pass you this deal. If I can get him to agree, I'll go ahead and pass you this deal. He was like, okay. He said, just because I was willing to give him the deal, he was like, okay, man, what I could do, I said, we could do like 2,500 if you wanted to. You know what I'm saying? I'll throw you something so that way you're not just giving me the deal. I was like, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
I was really just not because I really cared. Like we got so much motion. I was like, man, I can't keep trying to force it. If I can get him a deal as bonus with the buyer, I'm helping out a seller, which is very important to me, is making sure that this seller that is getting all his problems solved and stuff like that. And I was like, okay, yeah, let me just go ahead and pass it on. But he was like, hey, you want so he ended up offering to pay. And so we went on to hook that up or whatever. But it's like,
yeah, no doubt.
I wouldn't have thought, I wouldn't have, you know what I'm saying? I'd have just been like, man, the margins ain't there. I can't get in on it. I can't get nothing.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
in that sense, in trying to, act in either of their favor, let me just keep it pushing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure, man, for sure. But yeah, a lot of people be like, man, I done gave some deals away for sure, man, and
That's
I
what it
just
was. It was in regards. We was having a conversation about when it comes to people in your network just doing stuff without expecting anything in return.
yeah, for sure.
And that became very powerful to Byron's momentum. So I was just like, whatever. And it came back to me.
Because it's like, shoot, if Cordero, like, dude, if somebody gives you $50,000
Yeah.
Have you ever had anybody give you $50,000?
No.
Exactly. So if I do something and you end up getting $50,000, you just, I'm giving you this and you make
Exactly.
$50,000. It's like,
Exactly.
man, how am I gonna look at that person? You know what I'm saying? Especially if we keep talking and we keep, talking to each other, have like a working relationship like that, and like, man, this person really, put some money in my pocket. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And you know what I'm saying? They just gave me this. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's different, man. It's like, you know, people talk about adding value to people all the time. But in reality, most time they looking for what they gonna get out of it. You know what I'm saying?
Transaction. Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, man, it's like, when you just bring people value and not worry about what you're gonna get back out of it. I think I was telling Cordero like a couple of times, like, dude, I done gave people 30K. I done gave away 60K deal. Just gave it away. You know what I'm saying? The deal that I could have done the deal. Just gave it away to somebody else. You know what I'm saying? It's like, dang, can't believe I gave that away. But at the same time, that person looks at me like, man, I sure enough appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? Like they appreciated, what I do. You know what I'm saying? And they speak highly of me and you know, they turn around and done stuff for me that really helped me out. You know what I'm saying? So people be wondering, like, man, how you got this? How you got that? How you? It's all the stuff that I did for people when I ain't getting nothing back. You know what I'm saying? It's giving up the 60K, giving up 30K, giving up, bringing people in on deals and splitting the deal with them when I ain't even have to do it. You know what I'm saying? Just because it's like I want this person to feel like, I mean, this person does add value to this situation,
Yeah.
and I want that person to feel like, I value their expertise and what they bring to the table. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, man, they go a long way, man. Building relationships with people, because the thing is like if I know like Cordero working with that buyer, like that buyer gonna be flipping for the next 20, 30 years. If I get good relationships with people that's gonna be in business for the next 20, 30 years, it's a good chance I'm gonna be in business the next 20, 30 years. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, dude, they say your network is your net worth. It's like you creating a network of people, and the one thing you'll learn about business when you're really in it, it's like if I'm in business and I'm doing good and I'm doing my thing, if Cordero came to me like, man, look, man, I've been struggling, man. I need to, I don't know what I'm gonna do, man. I don't know, man. This real estate, I've just been having a tough time. It's like, shoot, because we have a relationship, I'm gonna make sure, if he come to me and say like, start talking like, dude, no, man, we gonna, hey, I'm gonna put you in this position over here, and we gonna do this, and I'm gonna get you back. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna get him back on the right track. You know what I'm saying? It's like
Yeah.
I'm gonna get him back on the right track. You know what I'm saying? It's like, so when you have a relationship with people, and like I told Cordero, it's like, dude, I've been in relationships with people to where you can call them up, like, and ask people for, you know, $30,000, and it's like, boom, hey, let's go. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you wonder like, how do you, Cordero, how do you get these deals funded? How do you da da da? It's like, dude, you build relationships with people, and it's like, man, this is, you know what I'm saying? It's the relationships, man. It's like, that's what it's about.
100%.
Like different business people be talking about that. It's like, dude, when you can call somebody up and say, hey, look, I need $50,000, and they like, hey, and they gonna come up off it and give it to you. You know what I'm saying? It's like them real relationships, man, with people who, we talking about people who really got it. You know,
Yeah, man. That's real.
that's
Again,
what you want
real
to be.
value. The money itself, that's just a screenshot. It's a representation of the value that has been exchanged. And when it's about real leaders, real people who's going to will themselves into a good situation. They're about empowering the people around them, being around empowered people, people who can do. And so again, to Byron's points, it's like imagine being the one, you know, imagine being the one to say, "Oh man, I put let's take anybody. Grant Cardone, man. I put Grant Cardone on. I gave Grant Cardone his shot. When Grant Cardone was in a tough spot, I helped him out. Imagine what that is worth today.
Yeah.
If it was 5K back in the 1980s, or if it
When
was
when Grant see you, how he gonna look at you?
dude,
Hey, man, like, dude, when you see somebody who really
yeah,
helped you out, you know what I'm saying, or even
yeah,
just hooked you up, you like,
yeah.
oh shoot, that go such and such, you know what I'm saying?
They are part of the story, like they are part of
Exactly.
the overall, like the overarching narrative that brought me here today.
Yep.
So that goes a long way. So when I was talking to that buyer, like after I had that conversation with Byron, I think it was in the context of like, how you get people to fund your deals like this? And he was just telling me, like, really reminiscing and going back through, like, man, it really worked out like that, like that. And I was like, dang, that make a lot of sense. Because in any context, like, I forgot who said it. No, I heard Mark Spain say this in an interview. Mark Spain said his biggest thing when it comes to finding talent to work on his team is if you get Michael Jordan when he's in the league, he's already too expensive. But if you can find the Michael Jordan before he becomes Michael Jordan,
Yeah.
and cultivate that talent within that person. Obviously, he was talking with the intentions of bringing that person on the team, but it's still a value being given in exchange. He was just saying if you could find Michael Jordan before he becomes Michael Jordan, then you got a star player forever. You know what I mean? And this just goes in. It's not about binding or holding people or like, oh, I did this for you, now you owe me. But when being Byron talked about that, I was like, man, I can't wait to find somebody to throw them some value. Man, if I could just get this dude to flip and put 30K in his pocket because I brought it to him, you know what I mean? Like that would be to somebody who I know is a real player in the industry. He's bought deals for me already before. But what can we, I was like, man, let me go ahead and see if I can do that. And I really want to do that more. I want to find when you start looking at it like that, it's like, man, I want to figure out, man, how can I give Byron his next couple flips? How can I get such and such their next flips and bring them the next deal? I can't wait to real big tip that Byron gave me. I can't wait to wholesale a deal to, let's say, Wedgwood or Amherst or something like that. And then the acquisitions manager who got that deal, I'm going to throw him a little tip. Byron taught me that.
Hook him up.
Tip.
And I got that for somebody else, like hooking them up, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Do something like that, man. Be that guy. I want to be that guy who people see is like, man, Cordero's around. He's always providing value. So that means I'm empowering everybody who's around me, and I'm empowering my view, their view of me in their eyes, how they see me. Like when Byron said, how would he look at you when he see you? Well, I want them to think of me. What's the connotation that they have in their mind when they say Cordero, they're like, man, he's a team player. Man, that dude provide value. You talk to Cordero, you're going to get some money out of it. Like you're going to get some value out of it. Some type of way. Like I want to be that guy. That goes a long way.
No doubt, man. You talking about finding Michael Jordan for Michael Jordan. It's like, what happens when you can end up bringing Michael Jordan value? What happens when you can end up bringing Grant Cardone value? You know what I'm saying? Not even the fact that you just searching and looking to bring them something, but it's like, man, when you could throw something at somebody of that, you know what I'm saying? It's like, man, it's like, so
who would you want to owe you one? You know what I mean? Like who you want to owe you one?
Not even that they owe you one. It's just that I like every time I did, I never even thought about, you know what I'm saying?
Right. It's
nobody
like you
ever owed me anything. It was just like I'm just doing, you know what I'm saying?
I wanted to provide value to this person just because really, honestly, a lot of times these people, they provide value to me and it's not even monetary. So it's not transactional. It's like if I can put some money in your pocket, just being around you inspires me.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Talk to you, it inspires me just to say, you know what I'm saying, that helps me accomplish a goal in my life.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, most of mine, I don't even think I was even thinking about providing value, to be honest with you. I just looked back at it and was like, dang, that's what I did. Like, that's why that person, like, why I was thinking, like, why is this person looking at me like that? You know what I'm saying? It's like, why is this person, being nice to me? Then I look back, like, man, I did give them $30,000. It's like, dang, I did give them $60,000. You know what I'm saying? Because they'll send me a message like, man, I really appreciate you, da 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 da. Or they'll do something for me and say something. It's like, why do they look at me like that? You know what I'm saying? It's
Where
like,
that come from?
yeah, like where that come from? Like, dude, I ain't know that. I didn't know that they had that kind of respect for me, or they. But it's like, oh yeah, that's right. I did give them that property, and they made 60 off that, man. You know what I'm saying? Like that may have been something that helped break them through something. You know what I'm saying? Like with this one flip, I know they had lost some stuff. Like they had some losses on some flips, but then next thing you know, I turned around and just gave them something. And it's like boom, it's like the loss just went away. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you know what I'm saying? It's like so. It's like you just never know, man, where people at in their journey, and it's like you do something, it's like boom, dang, you know what I'm saying? Like they see it as like a big moment for them. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying? And you just doing what you would do. You know what I'm
I'm
saying?
telling you.
Like
Moreover, I think because I think like that, like man, that's what really keep me going. And what's been hard and kind of been my journey is like being able to really provide value to people. And it's like I think about it a lot with the sellers. It's like you like, man, dang, I got to do all of this and so many problems. But you don't realize, bro, you are untangling a web for somebody
yeah,
when
for
they're
sure.
sitting there like dealing with their ex or dealing with a probate or dealing with this. They wasn't gonna get that done unless you was gonna get that done.
Yeah,
But
for sure.
again, that usually is transactional because there's a reason why Byron's able to offer that value. But when we're talking about just networking and working with the people and just saying, hey, man, I'm good. I want you to be good. You know what I mean? And I'm not asking you for nothing in
Just
return.
taking care of people, man.
Dude, man. I mean, I that's just the type of person that I am. Like if I honestly, if we didn't live in a world without like money and money wasn't ever a problem for anybody at all, I would like what would you be doing with your life? You know what I'm saying? I think people would be a lot more productive if it wasn't the stress of like gotten to pay bills. It's like, man, I would sharpen my skills because I know I'm helping more people, and I'm putting more people in a position that they can be comfortable in.
Yeah,
That's something that is really important, man. I'm just saying that's not an area of business that most people's going to talk about because our whole thing is how do we make more money, make more money. But I'm telling you, if you can shape the effect you have on people, like get better at the effect that you have on people and shape how people see you as a person who's just there to provide value.
yeah, for sure.
That may come back, it may never come back, but that in and of itself is it's gonna help you sleep better at night. You know what I mean? It's gonna help you,
Yeah, for sure, for
and
sure.
that's gonna matter a lot longer. The money that you got, the money that Byron made and that I made in 2020, 2021, I don't still got none of that. You know,
Nah, dude.
I still got that.
but
The
but
relationship.
it's like, yeah, dude. I don't know, man. Like you said, like, dude, it's all about just taking care of people at the end of the day. It's like I be telling people that when I be giving away stuff, it's like, at the end of the day, man, it's about just taking care of people. You know what I'm saying? It's like because when you just taking care of people, you run into other people who just take care of people. And when you get yourself around people who do good business and just take care of people and y'all close,
Yeah.
it's like, man, you got some people with some show enough around you that just like taking care of people. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, everybody going in this journey, everybody gonna go up and down. It's just the way it is, man. You're gonna run into stuff where you gonna be like, it's like, dang, you need somebody. You know what I'm saying? Everybody don't make through this thing all on their own. You know what I'm saying?
No,
So
no.
it's like that's why you need to establish yourself and what is your character and build up people around you that's of the same thing. And you know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
it's like, man, I got some business brothers, business sisters that's of the same character. And you know what I'm saying? And it's like I can lean on. When I need something I can lean on. When they need something they can lean on me. You know what I'm saying? That kind of deal. So
For sure.
I think that's
Man,
big.
that goes a long way, dude, because I've been in I've been in business partnerships that people didn't have that. It was people who was only concerned with the money. Or maybe it wasn't just the money, but they was only concerned with their ego and the power that being in this position gave them and the authority. Like, man, I close deals. There are people who are just flat out arrogant in this world. And so it ain't even necessarily about money or being greedy in that regards. But I like the fact that people got to go through. Like, dude, when you finally get, and that's one thing I like working with Byron is just like when you finally get around people who are like-minded and realize, dude, all of that ego, all of the money, it won't matter as much as helping people and serving and doing for others and like trying to figure out a way to provide value. And even like there's going to be rough times and tough times, there's going to be great times and excellent times either way. But if you got the mindset of service, if you got that mindset of just being at peace with everything, I'm telling you, even the bad times, like, damn, I'm going through a rough time. I remember Byron had a live years ago when he was talking, he was like lending out money, or he had so many flips at one time that he went broke.
Yeah, for
lost
sure.
money. But dude, I'm telling you, that same situation, but with a person from a different mindset, that had been like, it's the end of the world. I'm just dark. I'm in a dark spot. But Byron, like, man, money gonna come back to me. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Think, you got to think, just the way people think around you is going to greatly influence you. We all know that. Birds of a feather, you with 9 broke dudes, you're going to be the 10th one. But what people don't talk about is you could be with 10 rich people, but they got a poor character and poor.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like they are wealthy, but they don't got that same type of heart that you got. And so you be miserable in that group of people with money because they all like, they conniving. I've been with actual business people who are my partners, and they just like conniving all the time. They're like, dude, we shouldn't have to worry about this. You know what I mean? Byron, we was like, man, we say stuff like, man, we want people be like, man, the tax bill gonna be. We want the taxes to be too big.
Yeah, exactly.
Because we understand taxes is on a percentage basis. So if you get taxed more, you making more. That's a lot.
I was telling somebody that at a real estate event I went to, they was like, that capital gains tax. I was like, dude, if you ain't worried about Mr. Capital Gains, then you got other problems. You got bigger problems.
You got to have quality problems. Like we have problems, but we can pick and choose our problems to be quality, but we don't limit them for our priorities. Like, can we provide, like our metric of are things going good or bad isn't the same as everybody else's. It's like, are we providing value? Are we serving? Are we doing for people, man? That's a very key point that I learned from Byron, and it's rubbing off on me, man. And I'm trying to, provide value. I want to get people. I just want to help people. So if you're in the Tennessee area or Georgia, because I'm in Georgia, me and Byron are both in Georgia. So if you got anything you want to reach out to me, hit me up on my IG. If you got a deal you want me to help you close or lock up or whatever, just let me know, man, or just got questions. But if you know somebody in the Tennessee area that's looking to sell, or a buyer that's wanting to buy or get more flips and put his business on, dude, check me out on IG, dude. I'm telling you now.
Cordero Martin 615 on IG, baby.
I'm gonna change. I need to change it to like Mr. 615. Is there a dude named?
Oh yeah, that would be pretty cool.
I think that. Nah, I'm kidding. Cause I think that's pretentious. When people are like, I'm Mr. What's his area code in Atlanta? In the heart of Atlanta.
Yeah, Mr. 404.
Mr. 404. Man, come on, dude. That sounds crazy, Mr. 404. 404 Trio 504. But I'm saying, like, hit me up if you know anybody who wants to join my team, who wants to be on the acquisitions team. I am looking for somebody to close some deals. So just let me know, dude. We just out here getting it. All of it go to the same place. Yeah. All of it go to the same place, by the way. Anything that I do, I just sell it to Byron. Byron's flipping like 1,000 deals this year. So
whatever.
Byron's the number one buyer, dude, that I got.
Whatever. But shoot, man. Appreciate y'all coming through, man. I know Cordero, he a busy man. We gotta let him go. He gotta, go do his thing, man. But shoot, appreciate y'all coming through. And shoot, we're gonna be back on Monday, man. Got to keep these lives going. I think we're gonna pull off an event. Probably be, I don't know, man, what this is, May, sometime in June, man. We're gonna do an event. And get those things back going, man. Do a live event somewhere local in Atlanta or somewhere around Atlanta. But shoot, man, appreciate y'all coming through. Until Monday, peace out.